Then when I had transition, whatever, like motions.
Oh wow, it's 3 minutes still.
Yeah, 3 minutes time.
Yeah, you're trying to lay the ball. How are you? Yeah, I'm going good. Doing good. Hey, Michelle.
How you?
How are you, dear?
I'm fine. Roscoe. Oh, we fine in it.
Right over there. Yes, I'm going to take her. Oh, you blaming on Ron tonight? Yeah, that's 3 hours. Oh, they doing good, you? Hey, Rachel. Hi, Rachel. I ain't had time to meet with this one. I think I know what you want. I got it. No, besides that, I still want that. You still get that too.
I'll give you all the seats just.
I said today.
Another what? Just return it, but it's not good for you. Return
Oh my God.
it.
Good evening and welcome to our monthly council meeting, June 11th. We do have a quorum present tonight. Okay. We're going to ask our own chaplain, Lance Blackwell, to come tonight and offer an invocation. And we're going to ask Mr. Brent McWaters to do the flag, both flags, the pledges. Pastor Blackwell.
It's a privilege to be here tonight, Mayor Danny Lee, so thank you so much. So let's bow our heads. Our Heavenly Father, we come to you to honor you for your glory tonight. We pray, Father, for your presence to be here on our city council meeting tonight. We pray, Father, that your blessings will be here as well. And Father, we come to you to pray for our new city council members. We thank you, Father, for selecting and bringing them into office. And Father, we thank you for guiding, leading, and directing them as well. And Father, our Heavenly Father, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, and thy will be done on earth and in Cleveland as it is in heaven. And give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thy kingdom, and thy power, and thy glory forever. And we give you the glory. Amen.
Amen.
Face the American flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, we're out of the way. Item number 3. We have 2 presentations tonight. It's Mr. Jonathan Derby. Is he present tonight? Okay, come forward, please. Okay. Jonathan Derby, we recognize you. You have successfully completed 10 years employment with the city of Cleveland. Brother, we respect you and everything that you do. We appreciate you for your service, to the city of Cleveland, as a first responder. Just keep doing what we do, what you're doing. And, once again, we do appreciate you. Scott?
Thank you. Congratulations.
Okay. Motion. Got it. Okay. Ms. Giselle Ochoa. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I would like to present you in recognition for your outstanding performance, hard work, and dedication to the city of Cleveland. Employee of the Month, May 2024. We appreciate your service, and continue to stay with us.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Can I say something, Mayor?
Yes,
She's
ma'am.
been with us about 3 years. She's that heartbeat that you don't always see, but she's the one that makes sure all the paperwork gets to the prosecutor's office, the district attorney, county attorney's office. She's a hard worker, and I don't think she ever missed a day in 3 years.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now we have our public comments for tonight. Okay, any person with city-related business may speak to the council. In compliance with the Texas Open Meeting Act, the city council may not discuss or vote on any matter raised in public comments unless it's specifically on the agenda. To speak to the council meeting, you must be recognized by the presiding officer. Okay, public comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Okay, And Miss Angela here is our timekeeper, and when she raises her hand, that means 3 minutes is up. Okay, I have one tonight. Is there anybody else here who want public comment? Okay, we have Miss Veronica Reed, 701 Santa Fe, Cleveland, Texas. Cleveland Memorial Gardens, topic is Cleveland Memorial Gardens upkeep. Miss Veronica.
Good evening. I'm Veronica Reed. I represent the voice of the unheard. First of all, memorial. I looked that word up. Memorial is a structure or something that establishes to remind you of a person or event. I placed my oldest child, my daughter, into Cleveland Memorial Gardens about 9 years ago from a domestic violence death. So it was very hard to go out there at first, but yet since then I found her the perfect, I'm getting nervous, I found her the perfect footstone to place in front of her. So now I figure I'll be able to go out there and pray and meditate. But yet going to this memorial, I have to get prepared to go out here. When I say prepared, I mean my family and I have to get a rake, we have to get a garbage bag, we have to get gloves, because before I pray and meditate, we have to clean. Okay? Although I chose this place because it looks so peaceful and at ease, it represents where she could be at peace. But when I arrive at this place, my family members know the first thing that we have to do is clean first before we can pray or meditate. The tree limbs and the pine cones are covered her grave completely. And this is not the first time, it's continuously for the past 7 to 8 months. And I know weather conditions can stop contractors from cleaning Cleveland Memorial Gardens. However, it don't rain every month and every day. So during these peaceful times or these dried out times, something should be done. First of all, we remove the tree limbs and the pine cones and completely put them to the side in an area that when the contractors come, they can get them. But however, the very next time when I come, those same tree limbs and cones and everything that we put together as a family is still sitting right there. My question to you is, how would you feel if your loved one was there? How would you feel? Then I look to my right, as I know her friend is laying in the corner, and the very first thing I see is a pile of dirt with grass on it. So that mother has to go to her child and look at a pile of dirt around her child's grave. How would you feel if it was one of your loved ones? How would you feel? Last of all, let's talk about the fence line. They say they have a contractor that goes out and does a contract every two weeks or twice a month. If that is true, then someone needs to look at the contract, because when you're not abiding by the contract, it needs to be terminated and re-proposed or redeemed, because it's not being kept. The fence line is totally a disaster. It's filled with greenery. As I stated before, how would you feel if your loved one was there? Thank you.
Thank you, Veronica. Okay. Any other comments tonight? Going once, going twice. Okay. Item number 6, reports from members of council regarding attendance of boards, commissions, social functions, conventions, workshops, ceremonial events, press conferences, candidate forums, and similar events where no formal action was taken, and discussion of public business incidental to the event. Okay, this month I'm going to start with Position number 5, Ms. Hall, do you have any comments tonight?
Yes, I just want to thank everyone for being in attendance and watching, and remind you, especially those watching or those about to head out in it, that our youth are actually participating in the pop-up market right now at the library, and getting a chance to go support the youth of the community. They're out there in the sun at the library, and I think the booths are open until 7 or 7:30. I wasn't sure if any time, but make sure that we stop by and support the youth that have worked hard to show entrepreneurship and to be out in the heat to sell those items. And thank you to the library for helping to host that event this year.
Okay, Ms. Davis, no comment tonight. Okay, Mr. McWaters.
Yeah, just a couple of things. First of all, just want to say thank you again. I know we've mentioned it before, but to our police and first responders and fire department for the job that y'all do. And also to the residents. I know that we're 3 months in now to our new waste company, Frontier Waste Solutions. And I just want to impress upon y'all, if y'all haven't downloaded the app, it's a pretty neat little app that gives you an extra little functionality for your waste service.
Mr. Warren.
Yeah, I just want to ditto on what he said about police department and everyone. Thank y'all for your job. And also, we lack sometimes to represent our street workers, our street department, because they do an awesome job. And so I want to send a shout out to them for the job they do. And I know they do whatever they can, because we know what all the weather conditions have been through. But they are doing a great job, because I'm out there too, and I'm checking things out myself. And I go to the areas where residents go, and people that live in Cleveland and live out of Cleveland and come back into Cleveland. Sometimes we come back at the wrong time, but the thing hasn't been done yet. But you know, it do be done. The street department and public works, they do their job, and I want to send a shout out to them, thank them very much for all they've done and all they're doing. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Roger. Great job, guy. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Buckner.
I attended the Parks and Airplane Board meeting this month. Parks Board was a good one. We had a couple of issues that Roger brought to our attention that hopefully we can get fixed in the next few months. Like graffiti and stuff going on in the parks. And then Airport Board was a good meeting, a little long, but we did sell quite a bit of fuel within only having 15 days of good weather this month. So Vicki for keeping it running what we can. And thank you first responders like they all said.
Okay, Scott, you got anything tonight? Mr. Ramsey, you got anything tonight? Okay, silence. Okay, every month I try to give a shout out to our employees, first responders, library, public works, city hall employees, everybody. You know, I just want to give a shout out to the jobs that you do. We appreciate it. You know, and right now we're in the preliminaries of our budget workshops. I think that's coming up in July. We haven't met as a council discussing the budget as of yet. The staff is in the preliminary phases of getting all the numbers together. Okay, now this will be my 7th year, 6 years as a councilman, and this will be I'm going into my 2nd year as a mayor. And every year, our budget is a very difficult process. There's a lot of layers involved in it, and we're going to do our best to take care of our employees, but it's a process, okay? And I ask everybody, trust the process and respect the process. You know, council, we go through a lot. We're short-handed. You know, we need more people. People we have are underpaid, overworked, and pretty much from the city manager on down, everybody would fall into the category of being underpaid. So my word to all departments, all employees, hold your water, respect the process, number one. Number 1A, trust the process. You know, every one of us up here, this is our home, we're not going anywhere. We're gonna do the best we can for our employees. And I thank everybody for the work that you do, and you know, we can't thank you enough, okay? That's all I got. We're gonna go on down to the consent agenda. All consent agenda items are considered routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member requests an item to be removed and considered separately. Okay, do I have any discussion or questions on the consent agenda? Okay, if not, can I get a motion?
Make a motion, we approve the consent agenda, items 7 through 10.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. McWaters. I have a second by Mr. Buckley. All those in favor of approval? Okay, motion carries 5-0. Okay, item number 11. This is discussion and possible consideration on the following. Number 11, EDC contract with Ford for audio-video improvements in the council chamber. That'll be Mr. John Williams.
So you brought this last month, where basically everybody was in agreement on the option 2. And we can go through the whole packet if you need to, but in short, we brought it back to EDC. EDC approved that option, the option 2 on our audiovisual system. It was the 96-1, and then with the extended warranty that everybody was agreeing on, coming to the 108-025. There was a question from Mr. Buckley in regards to the electrical work and sheetrock work. That turned out, using the contractor's $3,000. So the total on it's $111,025. As I said, EDC voted unanimously on the option 2, and that's what we're asking the council to do, is approve the audiovisual system, and then you're going to have to do a budget amendment on item 12, and obviously we're asking the council to approve the budget amendment. If we have any questions, be glad to go over it. I know you have a packet that describes everything that we'd already talked about.
I have a question on the extended warranty. Did we get clarification on that? Because it says add year 2 only is 5, and 2 and 3, so the first year is free for the warranty?
From what, yes, the first year is free, so it'll be 3 additional years after that.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because the way I was reading it was a little different.
Correct. Any other questions at all on, I think everybody kind of knows what we're getting, where we're putting things on the option 2. And
Are y'all going to have EDC's emblem on it
when it's down, I would hope.
I want to make sure, I mean, EDC is funny, I want to make sure they do get
I
paid.
hope EDC is going to give some recognition on it, like all over the city council.
Make sure we'll figure something out there.
We can have EDC everywhere.
Okay, any other questions or discussion on item number 11? Okay, may I entertain a motion?
Approve 11 and 12 together.
Okay, hang on, was that?
No, you can do it, I want to see if we can do 11 and 12 together, or do we need to do them separate?
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and vote on item number 11 and 12 at the same time. Okay, do I have a
And
motion?
12 is the budget amendment.
Yeah.
Okay, do I have a motion on this one? Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Buckley, I have a second by Ms. David, and all. Oh, okay, go ahead.
On number 12, does the price need to be updated on the fund now?
I know.
discussing that now.
Yes,
I'm
we're
trying to
dealing
see
with
the
that right this
difference
second.
before it's approved.
We talked about the 3,000 coming
The three-
from facility.
Okay, so it's not 111? It's
No.
another.
Right. What they had discussed was that the city would want to take care of the
Okay, so the
$3,000.
limit, okay.
Yeah, just for clarification real quick, all y'all are approving is the 108, not the 111. So that's what's coming from EDC. EDC is paying for the 108,025, and the city is paying for,
3,000.
yeah, and the city is paying for the $3,000. So EDC is gonna be responsible for the 108,025.
Okay. Okay, I have a motion and a second on the table. Okay, all those in favor? Okay, motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, John, and thank you, Pam. Okay. Item number 13, ordinance approving the second amendment to participation agreement with Buzzy Bee.
Okay, Mayor and Council, this is, you remember Buzzy Bee, with their expansion, we went into an agreement with them over a year ago to upsize the water line that's going, basically where it's stopped right now along the 59 feeder road in front of the Dodge dealership. We extended it down to the new site for the Buzzy Bee. And so the estimate when we originally did the contract was $300,000 for that upsize. And so the city agreed to pay for that $300,000 upsize cost. We also have budgeted, so we budgeted $150,000 in the city's fund to pay for that water line, and we also budgeted $150,000 in EDC to cover that, to split that $300,000. Then we came back after we received the bids for the water line and did amendment number 2 to reflect the cost of the bids, which was lower than the $300,000. And so now we're coming back with amendment number 3, or the second amendment, which is the third agreement. Basically, this is the final all-in cost. So this includes all the change orders, includes all the construction engineering, and it's our portion of that cost. And so the total for that ended up being 100, and the city's portion was 164,928. Of course, again, like I said, we will split that cost. So we'll be taking that 82,464 from EDC to help pay for that 164,928. Another 82,464 will come from the city. So that's great. The actual end cost is about half of what the estimated cost was originally. And so it doesn't happen very often, but it was a great thing for us. It's a good thing. And so you have there is this. And so this line item is the amendment number 2 to be agreed upon. Once your council agrees to it, we will get the Buzzy Bee contract, Buzzy Bee owners to sign off on this as well. Item number 14 is actually would be the acceptance of the water line and the approval of the reimbursement contingent on Buzzy Bee signing the agreement. So once the agreement is signed, then we will be able to issue. So, unless y'all want to do those together as well, if that is with the next item. You want to do 14?
Yeah, we can go ahead and do,
14 and 15 together.
so it's the 13 and 14.
Or is it 13 and 14?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're just gonna, per time, we're gonna go ahead and do those separately. Okay,
Okay, so that's the amendment.
okay. On the amendment, do I have a,
Make a motion, we approve the ordinance approving second amendment to a participation agreement with Buzzy Bee.
okay, okay. I have a motion by Mr. McWaters, I have a second by Mr. Ward. All those in favor? Okay, motion carries 5-0. Item number 14, Buzzy Bee acceptance and reimbursement.
Okay, again, this is the acceptance of that water line. I know Brown Engineering was part of this. They went out there, they've inspected and approved it. Roger and his team has been out there and inspected and approved it. And so it has been approved by staff, and so now we just need to accept it. And then again, with that, once the contract or the agreement amendment number 2 has been signed, then we can issue the reimbursement.
Make a motion, we approve, the acceptance of reimbursement for Buzzy B.
Second. Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Buckley, I have a second by Mr. Ward. All those in favor? Okay, motion carries 5-0. Okay, item number 16, authorization to issue requests for proposal.
15.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. Item number 15, I'm trying to get ahead here. Okay, item 15, TxDOT Advanced Funding Agreement for Highway 105.
Okay, this one again, we've talked about this a couple of times previously. Again, this refers back to the water or utility relocation that we're about to do on Highway 105 west of the city. And so with that project, we had to do an advanced funding agreement where we agreed to pay for that relocation cost. So everything related to that relocation we're required to pay for. And so you have seen a similar agreement previously that they sent to us that we talked about originally. However, once we decided that we were going to go with the SIB loan and do the state loan for funding this project, this agreement had to be changed and modified to include that loan as part of the funding agreement for this. And so that's what this is today. This is the state document. It basically came from the state. I know our attorney has reviewed it and looked at it, and so it's ready to go. And so this one, the project, as you'll see, again, we talked about it, they're estimating $771,000. We approved up to $900,000 for the loan, but I know that Blake has been working with them. They really think the money's going to come back. The bid's going to end a lot lower. However, they have to use their previous experience that they bid out, and it really doesn't even, it's really not even really a close similar project as ours, but that's what the closest they can have that they can use. And so those numbers, so everybody's estimated to be higher, but that's what's in the agreement is what they're estimating. And I know Blake continues to work with them. Even this week, they're communicating back and forth as they finalize those drawings for that project.
Okay, do I have any questions or discussion for item number 15?
Make a motion to approve TxDOT Advanced Funding Agreement for Highway 105.
I have a motion by Mr. Matt Waters. I have a second by Ms. David. All those in favor? Okay, motion carries 5-0. Okay, authorization to issue requests for proposal for administrative services for grant pre-application, phase 1 application, phase 2 and implementation services for Texas Community Development Grant Program for 2024 through 2026, Community Development Fund, and all eligible activities per application guidance as administered by the Texas Department of Agriculture.
Okay, Mayor, Council, this one, another utility project. And so this project has come about from us. We've been working with a couple of our grant administrative teams to try to identify grants that we may be eligible for. And so this one came about with us a couple of weeks ago. GrantWorks brought it to us, and this is a program, the 2025-2026 Community Development Fund as part of the Texas Department of Agriculture. It's coming up soon. It's going to be made available. And so what we're trying to do is get in as soon as we can, hopefully at the very beginning. And so one of the things that you have to do is you have to go ahead and do a proposal or a qualification to get a grant administrator on board. So we have to go through that RFP process to procure a grant administrator. They'll help us to apply for the grant and we'll submit it. This grant is up to $500,000. It's a 90-10 grant, and so we would be responsible for 10%. We are looking right now at the rehabilitation of one of our water storage tanks as that project. That's not finalized yet, but that's the main one we're looking at this point. It is in our scope that we've been looking at for some of our utility projects, and so this would help us out. We're doing everything we can to try to identify these grant funds and going after them. So anything that we can do, especially when it's a 90-10, 90-20 grant, or 80-20 grant, we definitely want to take advantage of those to make our dollars that we have stretch as far as possible. And so that's what we're planning on doing here. So we're asking for authorization for us to go out to procure the qualifications for a grant administrator, and then we would come back to y'all to award that. And then once the grant application actually opens up for these funds, we would apply for it. From what we understand, they've got a pool of money, and it's kind of a first come, first served, and so once the money's gone, it's gone. And so we want to get our application in as soon as possible. They do have, HGAC has, they've adopted a tier for different point allocations to go towards this grant within their region. And we had the water project that we're looking at is the top tier. It qualifies for the top tier. So we're hoping that we can rank high and be one of the first ones that we can get awarded to get this project going forward.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Any questions? Okay. Now,
Make a motion to approve item 16.
okay. Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Buckley. I have a second by Ms. David. All those in favor? Okay, motion carries 5-0. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Maybe we can, get a hold of it with this grant money. That would be great. Okay, item number 17. Discussion of homeless within the city. Okay, I had a gentleman reached out to me probably a month or so ago, about the issues with the homeless, and also Ms. Rachel had some questions about the homeless here in Cleveland. So with the new council, I wanted to wait and, where we could all discuss it together. And we got with Chief Broussard, and we just want a full understanding of the law when it comes down to homeless. So you can help us out.
Thank you, Mayor, audience, council. I appreciate the opportunity because we get several of those calls as well daily about people that are standing underneath the 105 bypass and 59. Usually there's 2 or 3 people gathered up, standing around talking. I go through sometime 1, 2 in the morning looking to see these people that are sleeping there. Sometimes they're hard to find, but since the flooding, many of them came up from the San Jacinto River where they were staying. And a lot of these people will congregate around where there's water a lot of times. Right at the San Jacinto River, right at Humble, they had a tent city going there at one time. And there were some really serious things that took place here that they had to work on thinning them out. If anyone watched the news yesterday on ABC News, there was a spot that came on about a homeless gentleman from San Rafael PD Police Department dumped him out on the edge of the road. It became a big deal and it's under investigation now. I will say, and you can quote me on it, there's no law against homeless. I'm sorry, but there's no law. The reason they started the camping ordinance was because at the Capitol, there were numerous people sitting up camping and having fire. You have to have some bedding, you have to have a tent, you have to have some sheets or blankets, and you have to either start a fire or have a campfire. That is where you could be cited for a Class C misdemeanor, which is the same as a citation or disorderly conduct. You can get a ticket up to $500. And some of these people will accept a citation, but it is a worldwide problem. Even as I looked and did a little bit of studying on this, Russia, other places have several million homeless people. Here in America, I understand there's well over 3 to 5 million people that are homeless in our country. Never thought I'd see that in America, but it is there. There's no longer any risk. A lot of these people have mental health issues, mental capabilities that they can't deal with because one reason or another, a lot of them are given citations for, not actually citations, but taken to jail for criminal trespass because some have poor hygiene, some of the restaurants and business don't want them inside, and we tell them to leave or give them a warning, and they sometimes come back. When the weather's bad, you see them more often because they got 3 cots and a hop. They come back because we're going to feed them, we're going to house them. But you're not going to get blood out of return because they're not going to pay their fines. They'll lay it out in there and enjoy it for the summer while it's cool, and then they'll come back. And we talked about earlier about on ABC last night, the people dropping them off. There's a big question of how often does that happen from other law enforcement agencies that go up and down 59 dropping these people off? It's a big question, but I sense to believe and think that we have caught a few agencies dropping and dumping them here. So Cleveland's a very nice town. Some of them will feed them and take care of them, and some of them won't leave. But the same problem happened, I want to warn you, at the Greyhound bus station in Houston, in Midtown. They had a very large homeless problem around that area. And the reason was because TDC gave each one of them a one-way ticket from TDC Huntsville to the Midtown, and some of them never left. There was a McDonald's right across the street that there was so much vagrancy going on, robberies, different things, people slobbering on people's windows, knocking and soliciting to where they had to close that Greyhound down. Well, now it's moved over on Harrisburg Street where we used to get police uniforms, and the people are there complaining now because there are several schools in the area and want to know why Houston moved it. But again, there's a large homeless problem. I was just at Lake Houston Parkway and Kingwood Drive several days ago, taking the wife to an ICE appointment, and there was guys standing there at the Kingwood, affluent neighborhood, you think. Yes, we all say. But there was vagrant guys standing there. Well, guys, you say, well, what's going on in Cleveland? Well, we have written about anywhere from 10 to 15 tickets this year for people for pedestrian, solicitation pedestrians standing out on the edge of the road. That sign says I'm hungry, but whenever they approach a car, that's not illegal, but when they approach a car and impede traffic, then that is considered solicitation. That is a law against that, and we do issue citations for that. So again, most of them won't pay. They don't have an address to send a failure to appear to. So these individuals wind up getting picked up. They have 10 days, which is reasonable on any citation to make an appearance. If they don't make it to 10 days, there's probably another 10 days that goes out when they try to reach or find them. And then eventually there's a warrant that goes out, and we have to pick them up, and we bring them in, we feed them, we house them, we spend money on them. And that's normally what happens there. Again, Cleveland, what I say is, there's a problem, not only here in Cleveland, but worldwide. What they do in Montgomery County, I want to share with you. They have a mobile shower with a dryer and a washer on the back of it. Certain times of the week, they go around. So there's some outreach. There's some intervention. There's some networking. There's some social things that are going on. We don't have that in Cleveland. We have zero to offer them. If I get them to Livingston, if we find one that comes through, if I get them there by 6 o'clock, they have a shelter there that will house them if they get there by 6 o'clock. That's men and women. That's in Livingston, Texas, 28 miles up the road. Houston, they have over 5,000 HPD, 400 Precinct 1, 500 Precinct 2, and I can go on. And they can't control the homeless population. It is out of control, ladies and gentlemen. And I said again, I never thought I'd see it in America. But mental illness has left it all up to the police to try to deal with. Homeless has been dumped on the police to try to deal with. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but we're running calls and doing things right here in our community. It is hard to deal with going back and forth. Hey, get off the corner. Hey, get off the corner. And if we do it as often as we can, we try to cite them. But again, we know that a lot of them don't even have an idea of what's going on around them. They just come right back to that same location. Because they're standing under the bridge, there's a gentleman that goes around and takes some pictures of them standing under the bridge. There's no law. You can stand there all day. I will say one other intervention that I'd like to see us meet with TxDOT about is putting some barricades of fencing underneath the freeway there at Southline in Washington, 59, where people cannot go underneath there. Even there's been some new talk the way TxDOT is building the bridges now. They build them straight up and down horizontally, and now you can't go underneath there. But in Houston, they have built fences where you can't go underneath there. We need something similar to that in Cleveland. Then they won't go under that bridge and sleep because they can't get to it or they can't crawl through the barbed wire. That would be of help and would help keep that area clear. So if we could work with TxDOT on that, or either take in 2 T-posts and put in some barbed wire, pretty cheap. I think we can do that to where they can get out if TxDOT approves. Again, we have to get that approval from TxDOT. So addiction, substance abuse, we need a detox unit. We're building $11 million MHMR building. I hope that we'll be able to drop them off over there sometimes in the future to where they can screen them. But I'll tell you the story behind that. There's 8 Liberty County deputies that are mental health officers. We call them, we get very little help. And I'm not throwing anybody in the bus. We go out to Pinewood Trails in Montgomery County. There's a psychologist shows up with a bulletproof vest on and 8 deputies ready to help you. And they're assigned to the mental health unit in Montgomery County. But that's what we get when we go out there to deal with those homeless people, or either those that have mental conditions that are taking place or having a situation. Again, limited resources here, no shelter, no food, no milk trucks. Certain cities in this country have where they bring them in and feed them. I don't know if the city would like to hire somebody and have a chaperone to sit up with such a place. We talked about it once. There was a couple of councilmen that are not here anymore, talked about on Glassdale Road having such a facility. Well, who's going to man it? Who's going to fund it? Who wants to fund it to be around here? It's tough. It's tough. But we deal with it on a day-to-day basis. And some of these people are talking about things that are not even real, and you have to deal with them. And you know what we do? We load them in the car. We call Liberty County, hey, can you help us? Well, he's not threatening to hurt himself or anybody else. He seems fine to me. We take him to Tri-County, same thing. He's not threatening to hurt himself or anybody else. He's good to go. Sign his contract. You're good to go. Well, we wind up hauling him to Kingwood Pines, 28 miles away. We don't have the staffing to do it, but we take time to do it, and we get them down there to try to get them some form of help. So again, there's something that the city may want to consider. Again, the trailer truck with washing machines, portable shower, dryers. Something that I'm just throwing out there is different things that would help that I see other cities around us doing, or some cities across the country are doing. In Alabama, they have a big, in Atlanta, they have a big resource for that, where they do bring them in and feed them. You can stay 30 days or you can stay 90 days while they try to detox them, give them some type of training skills, but it's a nice facilities from what I've studied and read. So again, some things that may help. We have about 15 or 20 that we've identified and we deal with on a regular basis. Some cities have, like I said, hundreds and hundreds of those type of people. Went to NRG, Astros game. All those officers out there doing security, they were still right amongst them. Still right amongst them. And if you ever go, look to your left and you want to keep your hands out, there's all types of homes set up down there that are cardboard, but I'm just saying, they are by the loads. And so Cleveland, we're really doing well trying to control the homeless problem, but I think there's a lot of more things that we could do. Even in Houston, they talked about an 8-foot rule. If you were at an ATM machine or you were somewhere, if you came within 8 feet of an individual soliciting, then you could be cited. Something like that could be maybe put into place. But the 2 state laws, camping and solicitation by pedestrians, is a problem. We say, well, the Pilot Club does it, everybody stands out in the street, Little League does it, whatever, but they have to have governing authority from the city council to be able to do that. But it is against the law. Many churches now, not as strong as they used to be, they don't do a lot of outreach anymore. They don't do a lot of outreach anymore. So if someone could, maybe we could team up with a church or a group that's willing to do it and do some outreach. The economy's tough right now. People are hungry. They lost jobs. Some are not working. Some don't care to work. But it's a worldwide problem. I just want everyone to know that we're doing all we can at the Cleveland Police Department with the limited number of staff that we have to try to control it. But when you go, every time you look around, you go to Conroe, again, there are some problems, people, and it's not just here in Cleveland. But I do want to say that the one gentleman taking the pictures, I don't know when he's going, how often he's going, but he's sending it to everybody around the country. But we're trying to do our job on it, and that's all I can assure you, that we do write some citations, and we do take some people here for the trespass when they return back to businesses that they've been warned not to attend or go back to.
Thank you, Chief.
Any questions? Thank you all for listening. All right. Sure.
My question is, because I've done outreach with Martin Corporation before, and so I know some of the situation and the challenges of it, and apply to both leagues. Is there any of the neighboring county organizations you consider as a shelter that is there are some resources in Montgomery County? We don't have anything here. You mentioned the Kingwood Pines and Kingwood, all these outlined. Is there anyone who's willing to come in to to pick up and relocate in comparison to you having to take one of your officers off the street to get that person to a safe location for their safety and well-being? Or is that not part of whatever agreements are in place with those individuals in those neighboring counties who do have resources?
Yeah, if they have some form of insurance or if they're indigent, Kingwood Pines will take them, or even Kingwood Hospital would take them when they have security. But there's not any really mutual agreements with us. Anyone who deals with homeless, they leave it up to us as a police agency to handle and deal with that. And again, a lot of officers get in trouble for whatever reason. You get the youth sometimes pick on them and drive by and say horrible things to them. And you know that there have been a lot of officers that get in trouble for taking them and dropping them at the next county line or the next city. But there's really not any transportation per se for these individuals, but it would be nice even in transportation. We wind up having to split that cost and take a guy off the streets just to haul him to Kingwood Pines, leaving the city unmanned. Okay.
I will say one thing also. Just last week, I know that the patrol as well as Public Works, I know they went out and they did some cleaning on one of the underpasses. It's been a good time what they're cleaning, but it is an issue that we're faced right now, especially recently with all the flooding. They're out, and so they're finding a place, trying to find a place to get that's dry. And so I know the police department as well as Public Works worked together on that last week to get some of the overpasses cleaned up in our city. Again, that's TxDOT's job, but they're going above and beyond, both our police department and Public Works department, to try to help us as much as they can and do the best that they can. So I want to commend those guys for what they're doing.
Excuse me, Scott. Mayor, please. I'm glad you brought that up because Captain Phelps is sitting here. He was one that led the guys the other day with going out cleaning up underneath something like that. As he called Roger and Cody, and I just want to thank him myself. Thank you, Scott. I'm sorry.
Man, I just want to thank y'all, for the job, stuff like that. And, it's a sad situation, with the homeless, but at the end of the day, for solving the problem, it comes down to resources. The money that Montgomery County, what they provide, the showers and all that, we just don't have the resources. And it's very sad. It's very sad, that, but it is what it is. Okay. All right, we're going to move to the item number 18, section 5.9, disaster or state of emergency pay policy.
Correct. So basically, I am seeking the approval and adoption by City Council for the amendment to the City of Cleveland Personal Handbook regarding the emergency pay policy update. So currently, our policy states that any salary employee that works a disaster event that is declared, they basically do not get paid any overtime. So for example, the last, or just literally, a few weeks ago, that was just declared, we had one of our chiefs who's a first responder, he's salaried, so he worked 96 hours and he's salaried, so that's all he gets paid. So what we're asking for is to amend it and actually change it so when that does happen, our salary employees can actually be changed to hourly and they get paid time and a half. And basically what happens is that FEMA will actually pick up the time and a half and they actually will pay those hours. And the city will just basically pick up, our regular 80 hours or the 40 hours for that week. And then FEMA will then step in and pay the difference. So we are asking for an update in our policy.
And one other thing, the practice that we've got as well is that currently if we declare a disaster and we shut down city facilities for that disaster, then all employees continue to get their administrative days if they were at work, which is the kind of thing we do. So all employees get that. The problem that we have on that line is the ones that go home and get to, be at home with their families and take care of their families, get their paycheck. The ones that are taken away from their families and are here at work working to do the rescues and all the work, they're getting paid the exact same as they normally would. So you got that group that's wishing they could be at home and they really don't even want to be here because they're not getting paid anything extra. They get paid the exact same paycheck as the ones that are at home. And so with this policy that we're looking at here, basically is something that's common amongst most of the cities in the Gulf Coast area. For fact, the policy is very similar to what used to be in practice before the policy was in place in 2000, came about in 2005. But basically, the employees used to be paid similar to this, to where the ones that, when you call it a disaster and you close city facilities, those that go at home will continue to get their paycheck. They're not being hurt anything because of the disaster. But the ones that are working the incident and taking care of our city and our citizens, they're getting compensated for that. And then, as Angela said, once the disaster is declared and the funding is approved by FEMA, then anything that is classified as overtime will then be paid for by the will be reimbursed by FEMA. And so the only thing that the city would be out would be the actual dollars that they spent for their normal budgeted amount. And so we were actually in the meeting last week with Tito going over this. It was a hot topic or a big discussion with everybody is, getting the overtime and stuff reimbursed. And so you just got to make sure you have the policy in place. And so as we are aware, the projections for this summer is that we're going to have about twice as much activity in the Gulf that we normally do. And so there's a good chance that we might have something this summer. And the policy has to be in place before. If you try to do it during or after the event, FEMA won't recognize it. They only recognize the policy that's in place when the event happens. So we want to bring this before, in case something does happen, we'll have this policy in place and we can make sure to take care of those employees. And so we're bringing it before you again as a discussion to make sure this is something you would be interested in. And so we can go ahead and approve it. If not, we can always just continue to operate the way we continue on today.
So I just have a clarifying question on paragraph 3. It says that their hours will all be time and a half, so just they'll get the time and a half for all the hours, not just the overtime hours, correct?
Correct. So they will continue to get the administrative leave for all the time that they would have normally worked. So every hour that actually is worked would be overtime.
Okay, I understand. And that applies to all of the first responders.
Right. Everybody that's working.
Right.
And we might actually, just as a note, we might actually put that in there, receive overtime time and a half, just so that FEMA doesn't have any. So with that, we might want to do that, just put in there, edit it. In addition, we'll receive overtime and then time and a half pay.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at that, I think that's absolutely a safety net, to make sure that everybody get compensated for the time that they work. Because, at times, you can slip through the cracks. Somebody work 90 hours and don't get paid. That's not right. So I think this is a no-brainer. That's just my opinion. Okay, but do I have a motion to approve this disaster emergency pay policy?
I'll make a motion with the amendment if you want to amend the text to include overtime. So I'll make a motion with it as an amended text that the hours are all counted as overtime pay.
Okay, I have a motion by Ms. Hall. Second. Okay, I have a second by Mr. McWater. Okay, all those in favor? All those in favor? Okay, motion carries 5-0. Okay, thank you, Angela. Okay, item number 19, appointment for board and commissions. Okay, I had this came up a couple of weeks ago, a request to look into the process, of the board and commissions. But in the past, we've always, since I've been here, we've always discussed the boards and commissions in open session. you know, that's the only way we've done it. And, I think it should stay like that, you know. Is there anybody that see it different? I mean, that's the way, because in the past, there have been some, you know, rigmarole about the, you know, the boards and commissions, but I think we should just keep it, you know, the way we have it. Okay,
Danny, does that, if you have specific questions about individuals or applications that you want to ask, is there no confidentiality for asking those questions that needs to be asked in executive session, like if you were discussing an employee?
well, in the past, I mean, that's the way we've done it. I know Julius Roscoe, Desiree, we had a council person that really, really wanted to discuss those issues in executive session, but legally he was told that it got to be an open session. So I'm just trying to be consistent on it, you know. And does anybody see any reason why we should change that, or you know, if y'all want to go into executive session, I mean, that's up to the council.
That should be an open session. Consistent.
Okay.
And so, looking, we're discussing through applications and making nominations through boards and committees throughout the year. So, when we receive the packets and receive their applications, but we don't have an opportunity to ask questions about candidates or their qualifications other than an open session, if there's 6, 8, 10 applicants for a specific board, and we would do that all asking
In open session.
through their applications, okay, so there's no confidentiality.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, I know in the past that, Bobby council members have reached out to the applicants and talked to them and visited with them before the meeting to be able to ask us that question. So I don't know if that would be helpful or something, but I know, not all the time, but I know in the past, some of them have reached out to some of the individuals that they have questions with. So you can ask those questions directly with the candidates or the applicant if you had something.
Yeah.
And if there's concerns, complaints, or issues from the city about people on the board that still end up in open session versus executive session.
Well, that's the way we've done it in the past.
Yeah.
It had to be,
Might as well do it out here, if you have a problem, go and put it out there. That's what you wanna do, you put it out there.
to see what we're trying to get away from. You know, we want a consistent process of, if you're interested in a committee, we want you to go online, fill out the application, put your qualifications down, and we want to keep a log on the people that want to be on committees. You know, but at one point, you know, every other month, we switching people, you know, on these committees, and I didn't think it was right. Some of the stuff that went on, but that's in the past. But going forward, we just want a consistent process of picking people for the committees. And I think it's been a good thing that we got people, you know, volunteering, and we got a list of people. At one point, we couldn't find anybody to be on any committee. So I agree with the council, and let's just keep doing it like we've been doing it. And by that way, it won't be any confusion of who said what. Just keep it all open, and you know, just do it like that. So, is there any discussion about this? Anybody have any other questions?
Well, I just want to say that, you know, I was present in the audience during a lot of those times, and to where it was just kind of names being thrown out to fill some of these positions. And I just really like the way it is now, to where it's a simple application, it's online, anyone can fill it out, and come by and pick one up, turn it in, fill it out online, and get sent in. And because that way we know, we can see the people that have put their requests in. But it allows us to talk to those people, but there's no just, you know, surprises. It's a lot more transparent.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Okay. If not, I guess that will be all that we have.
We do, no, we need to.
Okay.
We need to appoint two people, one just for charter review and one for planning and
Oh,
zoning.
okay, so we're gonna go ahead.
We need to appoint.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, I need the charter review committee to meet soon.
okay. Okay.
Well, we only had one application for both, Tanya Clark, so make a motion, put her on the charter review and planning and zoning.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Buckley for Tanya Clark, and who else? Tanya Clark,
That one application for
for both, for the charter review and planning and zoning commission. I have a second by Ms. David. All those in favor? Okay, motion carries, 5-0. Okay, we will now convene into executive session. The city of Cleveland reserves the right to adjourn into executive session anytime during this meeting to discuss any item on the agenda authorized by Texas Government Code 551071. Consultation with attorney, 551073, 551074, 551076, 551086. We will convene to close executive session at 7:05. Okay. Okay, we're now back in open session. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, motion to adjourn, second.
All right,